Welcome to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. Good to have you along today in conversation with Edwin van der Walt. Is that the right name, right?
That's it.
I have to think there for a second, right?
You got
How's it going, buddy?
Good in yourself, man.
Good, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
So tell me what you've been up to.
Yeah, well, we've been busy shooting some films. You know, been quite busy, and the last film that's coming out now is My Father's War, which was an epic film to shoot. There were explosions, guns, helicopters. It was insane,
really?
man. Yeah, literally epic.
We'll speak about that a bit later, but tell me in brief about you, like growing up. Where did you grow up? You grew up in Cape Town?
Yes, I was born in Pretoria. So my dad he had to move to Cape Town for work, so I moved with him when I was about 9. And then, we were in Durbanville in Cape Town, and I went to Paul Boys High School there, and then I got involved in rugby.
No girlfriend for you, right?
Well, rugby, it was rugby and girlfriend. That was it. So I had rugby, took over my life in high school. Like I played that, and then at the end of matric, I had to make a choice between rugby and going for the acting thing. So I was approached by the Sharks Academy to go play rugby there.
Really?
Yeah, that was insane. Like now, why didn't I do it? I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, and then, but if I look at Dwayne Vermeulen today, I'm like, yeah.
But maybe they wouldn't have lost 41-0 the other day, right?
You see what exactly? Maybe, no.
So come Edwin van der Walt, hy's op die veld, hy gaan daar.
No, it's insane. So no, I'm and then I made a decision to go do the acting thing. But I'm so glad. Like if I look back to
what inspired you to go do that? It doesn't you don't just wake up and go, hi, I'm going to be an actor.
No, exactly.
Or maybe you do. I don't know.
No, maybe, I think some people do. But for me, it like happened. I was still young. I was doing Mr. Bean for my parents, like when people had to come visit, like that. And then me and my roommate we were in matric. We spoke about how we loved movies and we watched more the like art kind of films and then we spoke about how we want to, go into that career and maybe make a change in South African films and to make quality stuff. Because at that point, being honest, like we didn't feel there's a lot of like real quality films if you should compare it with overseas kind of stuff. So that's how we spoke about it, and organically it just grew and fell in love with it, and I made a choice to go do it.
Watching back in the day, what inspired you to kind of do what you're doing right now?
There's films like Fight Club. That was one of the Edwin Norton, man. I mean, I was just like, come on, that guy is insane. Is that
even a film?
Yes.
I thought that was like a boxing match or something. I don't know. I was like,
that is insane.
For Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield to come bite somebody,
No, insane. No, it's such a great film. Yeah. So some of that stuff, Perfume was another art film we did or watched, and just loved it, every second of it. And then we decided, to go be part of this thing.
Do you study?
Yeah, I went to Stellenbosch to go study there, and did 3 years there. Got my first professional play done by Martinez Besson, the director, and that was in my second year. And that's actually when I felt, maybe I do have talent, because I didn't really believe in myself that much, like my first year, and still partying and doing all that stuff. And
are you still partying now?
No, we don't get time. Really? if I get the time, I would like to, but no, we don't really get time. I mean, I struggle doing it, and learning lines, because that's difficult. It's like basically studying again, and studying with a hangover, it's not working. So then in my second year I got a first professional play, and then after that I worked with Martinez Besson a few times, and in my third year the first film, Holiday My Ace, happened. I actually did a short film for a buddy of mine in AFDA, the film school. And the director of Hollywood in My Ace accidentally went to go watch the short film at V&A Waterfront. They were busy writing this film called Holiday My Ace, and afterwards I walked out standing there with my parents, all like, this is really cool. This guy just runs up to me, he's like, jy's frikkie, bro, jy's frikkie. I'm like, I'm Edwin, I don't know what's happening. And then he said, okay, just come speak to me when you're done with your parents. I'm like, cool. Went to go speak to him, and he said, we were busy with a film we're going to shoot in a few months time, and we feel like you should come audition for the lead role, frikkie. And I was like, okay. And then went on, and it happened from there.
You did the film with Christian Visser.
Christian Visser, yes.
How was that? She was also up and coming, right?
Yeah, same. Yeah, she's also doing very well, going really good. So it was amazing working with Corneille as well. That guy, the director, he's such a talent, such an extremely weird guy, but so I love that guy. He's so talented.
So after Hollywood in My Ace, you did
Belade vir Enkeling. Yes. So then,
Love film, right?
say again?
Ballada, love film?
Yeah, it's a drama, love film, definitely, yeah, and a bit of action coming in there. Okay. But that was also, it was amazing. The director there, Quentin Kroch, I think that's kind of also one of my highlights working with him. Such a talent, and yeah, it was an epic film. They worked with this whole generation way back, because it actually was an Afrikaans series way back, Ballade van Enkeling. Yeah, so
yes, that's right, it is. Yeah, I remember
my
that.
mom actually, because I didn't know, when they told me, listen, we want to have you in the film called Ballade van Enkeling. I was like, okay, cool. Read the script. My mom, when I told my mom, it's like, yeah, this film Ballade van, she's like, what? Ballade van Enkeling? She freaked out. She was like, wow. Yeah, so yeah, and then that happened, and then I did the Pro, which was a surfing film.
Did you surf?
I always wanted to surf, but it never happened, and then I actually got paid to learn how to surf, so that's not bad. So yeah, then we did that, which was also epic. We shot in Jeffreys Bay for a long time.
So now you can surf, right?
So now I surf, yeah. I really love doing it. It's something I can say a lot of people should try, because you never get to do those things. You know,
you still surf?
I don't get that much time, but when I, like, December's around there,
when the summer's back.
Yeah, summer's back. It's just, yeah, such an amazing thing to do. And then I got the opportunity to work with Stian in Modern Blood, which was an epic.
You were also in Modern Blood.
Yeah. That was
cast, eh?
Yeah, that was an insane cast. It was crazy working with all those, like, you know, names and talented actors, Albert Pretorius, and
yes.
That was insane, man. Really, really insane.
Welcome back to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor, in conversation with Edwin van der Walt. You still good, brother?
Yeah.
Enjoying yourself?
Lekker.
I know we got Stian waiting in the wings. We'll get him on in a moment. But tell me about the new film that you've just done with Stian.
Yeah, My Father's War, it started 3 years ago with the director and writer Craig Gardner, and the producer of the film called Peter Lamberti. He was part of the border war way back, being a recce. And he went to Craig Gardner and asked him, you know, I really want to make a film about the border war. And Craig said, okay, well, that sounds amazing, but you can't just concentrate on the border war. You're not going to get money out of it, because there's not a lot of people that wants to go watch just a war film. So he brought in the whole family storyline into the border war, and the effects the border war have on a family, and especially concentrates on a father and son relationship. The father not being there for him. So then, we heard about the film, went to go audition, and we got the roles, me and Stian. And then we had we had a week before we started shooting, we had rehearsals, which was amazing. And in South Africa, we don't really get a lot of rehearsals before films, actually, just go in and go shoot it. So this was amazing, having rehearsals, because you got the opportunity to, you know, get small stuff working, and especially working on relationships. Me and Stian, you know, him playing my dad, and Erica Wessels, which is amazing. She plays my mom. So we had the opportunity to work on those family situations in a home. We actually rehearsed in the home where we shot. Oh, wow. So it was amazing to work those scenes and sit down and talk and kind of, you know, just tap at it. And then started shooting it, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was such a, you know, it's one of the films that really had a good budget to shoot with, because we had to do explosions, we had to do helicopters. You know, we were portraying actually real life operations that they did in the border war in the film. So they had to concentrate on getting it realistic as possible for that time, because a lot of recce's and people that were there are going to watch the film, and you have to do them justice, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think it's Craig's approach also to the film was to, you know, actually get people to talk again, you know, getting people to maybe, you know, get those wounds open again, you know, before it can heal, because, and I love that about the film, because it's going to take people back to the war, and it's going to, you know, open up certain relationships because all of us deal with relationships, either if it's parents or brother, sister. And there's a lot of fine detail that he actually wrote in any relationship that can be a metaphor for it. So we had to do crazy stuff. We did a helicopter scene with me and Stian. We were like two children just smiling all the time, because we had a helicopter scene where we had to, you know, go directly. They did it in one shot, so we just walked out, met a guy, and then we go, the helicopter landed, and we had to climb in.
Real helicopter?
Real helicopter. We didn't even do a practice run. So this was really stressing because it's going to lift off, we're going to go.
Jeez.
We had a safety thing beforehand, done by Group 73. Those guys are amazing. And so then we did the shot, and I was just grabbing Stian's leg because as we lifted, I was just, this is so stressful, but it was insane. After that, I couldn't get off that thing. It was one of the best things I've done, in helicopter. And the guy actually that was the pilot, he was a recce pilot for the guys back then, and he did crazy stuff with this helicopter. But it was one of the best things ever. And we did explosions, real explosions going off as I'm running through this bush.
Were you scared?
I was scared. Maybe a little man, yeah, because
that part of it.
Yeah, no, it was insane. But it was so nice because it made it feel so much more real, because now they had the budget to blow stuff up and go for this. So it makes it so much more authentic.
How long did it take to put this film together?
Actually, 24 days.
What?
It's
Really?
insane. We shot bilingual. We shot Afrikaans and English.
So less than a month.
Less than a month.
In less than a month.
Yeah.
That is hectic.
That's insane, because especially we shot English. Normally you just choose the language, you go with it.
Yeah.
So now we had to do English and Afrikaans, the family scenes, yeah. So the film is 60% English and 40% Afrikaans.
And there is subtitles, of course.
There is subtitles. So yeah, that was a big challenge to do scenes over in Afrikaans, and then have to do it in English, because for actor a lot of stuff changes, like rhythms and stuff from English to Afrikaans changes. So it's little stuff, but it was a amazing learning curve, because doing emotions as well. But have to hit this emotion Afrikaans, then go back again, do it in English. So it was really
hectic
intense.
changing between the two.
Yeah, it was. I think because we only had 24 days. You kind of had no choice.
Afrikaans of Engels, ons weet nie.
Afrikaans of Engels. It was.
Ek hallo of hi of wat, ek weet nie.
And there were mistakes. So we had to set up this one scene. It was a huge track shot as well, and we did an Afrikaans scene. Took off the whole track. Went on to the next scene. Got there, and they were like, yeah, we forgot the English, guys. Yeah, so we had to go back, set up the track. So then you lost a half of a day of shooting, because so it was the first time, and everybody did amazing. We had an amazing AD, assistant director, who he's in charge of the time, so you just got everything done. But it was such amazing, especially working with Stian. He's also coming in. That guy is a great friend of mine. Stian Bum, yeah.
Okay, we don't want to get his name wrong, right?
Yeah, that'll be awkward, exactly. Stian. So yeah, no, that guy is such a talent as well. It was amazing working with him, and I learned a lot from him.
So My Father's War.
My Father's War.
At cinemas, people should go check it out. Why should they go check it out?
There's a lot of reasons. I think one of them are it's part of our history. The border war. I don't think, especially me, I didn't have enough knowledge about the border war, and they don't teach that in depth in schools. Which, they've got a lot of stuff to teach. So they've got their own stuff. But
sometimes people don't want to talk about it.
Exactly, but that's the whole reason for the film, and why people should go and watch it. Because there's a lot of, even my dad, he was part of the border war, but some of them don't want to talk about it. And working with that emotions and building up inside isn't always that healthy, and you need to talk about this stuff, and you need to talk it in a healthy place, a healthy environment. And Craig also said this film is part of that, taking a step to healing again, talking about this stuff. I think there's a lot of dads or fathers and sons that relationship isn't what it should be because of the border war. They weren't there, and they disagree on the reasons for it. So this is a film to kind of take a step in healing those relationships, and even any relationships. They delve into the honesty and the truth. The slogan of the film also is "The truth will set you free," and I think that's a big reason for watching the film.
Edwin, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, dude.
Edwin van der Walt here on Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We'll continue our conversation with Stian Bum next. Welcome to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. It's good to have you back. And in conversation now with Mr. Stian Bum. How are you, sir?
All right.
Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are.
I don't want to get fired for saying the wrong name, How's it going, man? Good to have you here.
Yeah, no. Well,
So tell us, in brief, where did you grow up? Where did it
Well, I was born in Walvish Bay, Namibia, and I stayed there for until I was about 16, 17, and my parents moved to Kimberley. My father got a position there, and I finished my school years in Freiburg, actually, and yeah.
And your acting, where did that kind of start?
Well, in school, in a way. We did some plays in school, but then I went away to England for 2 years, and then I worked in South Africa as a chef and in the hospitality industry for about 3 to 4, 5 years.
Oh, wow. So you're a trained chef?
Well, a little bit, yeah. But when I was
your wife doesn't complain,
no,
you can cook like a meal, eh?
I can't really cook. No, the thing is but when I was 24, I decided to, I told my dad, it's now or never.
What did he say?
Well,
yeah,
well, no, he just said no, he told me that beforehand. No, when I was like 18, when I wanted to do it. No, and then he said, okay, let's just do it. And then I studied, and then from there on, I was just very fortunate to get work.
So what was the first thing that you kind of did?
Well, I was trained at Stellenbosch University, so we did a lot of theatre. Okay. My first job was actually in theatre when I was in my at the end of my second year. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Is there still a following for theatre? Is that still important for actors like yourself? Is theatre where you kind of, that's where it all began, right?
Yeah, well, theatre to me is very important. I think it's my first love, and I think that the rehearsal process is fantastic, and also the live audience. I mean,
you still do theatre?
Yes, I do, as much as possible. It doesn't really pay, but I do it for the love of it, and it's really.
Got anything coming up or not really, or are you still?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we do the Afrikaans festivals with a production called Pa, about a man with Alzheimer's. So it's it's a wonderful production, and so we do that, and and then you hope to get some TV work.
Yes. So you just did Modern Blood.
Yes.
Very interesting movie. Now you're doing another war film, My Father's War.
Yes.
Where you play Edwin's father.
Yes.
How?
Well, how do I play?
You're not that old, man.
No, but I mean, no, it's interesting. I don't really know why they decided to use me.
It's war films. Modern Blood was also kind of like a war film, was it? Or?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It's actually, I think what Sean did is he went and he started talking, he wanted to tell a story about that, but he loves history, and firstly he loves rugby a lot, and then he loves history. So he went and he looked at the Anglo-Boer War and how did the rugby work, because that's actually true. I mean, they did play rugby. Yes, I mean, that's all factual. They started playing rugby when in the concentration camps and stuff. Yeah, so. He looked at that and then he built this story around it. Wow. But I think mostly what it's about, I think it's a bit of allegory, what do you call it? Allegory for things, for like our nation, suppression and what happens when you're suppressed, and we stand up, we fight, and I think that's mostly what he's trying to say through the movie. Okay. And obviously, war is always as a backdrop, it's dramatic.
It is, yeah. So My Father's War, tell me about that. And tell me about your character, the Opa.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Craig and, Peter Lamberti that produces the movie, he came up with the idea and said, let's make a movie about the border war.
Border war, yeah.
And Craig said, okay, yes, but how
you weren't there, you didn't fight on the border.
No, but I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s in Walvish Bay. They were all around. There was like 2 terrorist attacks when I grew up, Sure. So I mean, I know about that a bit. Yes. And then Craig decided, okay, let's make a movie about this, and he started writing, and then, he wanted to write a movie about family. Because I mean, it's something that
family aspect of the war and the war,
and it's something that somebody can relate to. Yes. So and then it's this man that was play old recce, and most of those people that after the war, where did they go? How did they survive? A lot of them got work, but I mean, he for instance went to Iraq. He started doing security work, taking him away from his son and his family, and conflict starts. And
so is it talking about Is the movie set in during the time of the war or after the war?
Well, it plays out in 2003.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's where it's set in 2003, and then because of the conflict, something happens, and he goes. The dad goes and says, "Please, just something needs to happen. Something needs to happen."
Yeah.
And then the son gets thrown into a sequence of dreams where he is transposed to his in that time of the war with his dad being there, the same age as him. So that he can see who his dad was. You see, I think one of the big thing they're trying to say with this is, it's, the son is always going about, you fought for apartheid, it was all apartheid, and what the dad is saying, no, but we fought against communism. Don't you understand? There's a difference, you know. So it's something that comes out quite a lot in the movie.
At that time, people couldn't really choose if they can go to the army or not. It was forced upon you, either police or army. You had to, your 2-year service.
Yes, exactly. My brother was one of the last few that actually got called up, but when he
luckily fell out of it all.
Yes, no, like two years. He's 2 years older than me. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, we did it. We went on camps. We did cadetta every Wednesday. We marched. We did, like clothes and everything.
Sure. And you couldn't say no. I mean, they would lock you up if you said no.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what he says. I mean, it's all in the movie. He says, you could have chosen to get locked up. That would have been the right thing to do and whatever. But people had different opinions back then.
Were there people that got locked up, that stood up against it and said, no, this is not what I want to do?
I actually know somebody that decided not to. He was in the war, he went there, but he didn't carry a gun. And if he had to carry a gun, he didn't carry any ammunition.
That's hectic.
Yeah, well, people made decisions, to not do that. No, there was a lot of people that got locked up because of that. Yeah.
So, moving away from My Father's War, we'll get back to that in a moment. Tell me about your role, your stint in Seventh Line. I mean, people know you, like, Seventh Line is just weird, massive, like weirdly massive. It's like, you'll do one day on Seventh Line and people are like, yeah, it's a superstar line, eh? Tell me about that experience, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it was a...
Emma's wife, husband, sorry.
Sorry. She was my wife. She was my wife for a while. Yeah, we have a kid together.
Yes,
yeah, he was like a bit of a womanizer, and I think people like that.
Did people ever challenge your character in real life and say, hey, Muni, don't do like that?
No, not really. People, they say they're angry at me, but no. I'm one of the lucky ones. It seems like they like David a bit.
Yeah, and you enjoyed your character, you enjoyed your time.
Yeah, it was a nice character, and it's interesting and meaty, and it's a nice experience. I'm one of those people that I'm one of those actors. I like the idea that you actually go and do different type of mediums, so that you can learn all the disciplines that you need to. So it was very nice to do that.
Would you go back into doing series or soapies or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously work is work, and you can't say no. But I mean, I'm not dying to, because
your focus is more movies now.
Well, my focus is to work, actually. Okay. No, I mean, movies is fantastic, series is fantastic, theatre is fantastic.
You've become quite established in South Africa. I mean, quite well known in the movie industry. How does that feel for you? Like climbing the ladder, kind of? I
don't know. I don't. Think
you still don't think about that.
I don't think about stuff like that. I'm very bad.
You're just doing work.
I'm just basically working. You see, I love acting. I think it's a wonderful thing. It's like a craft. It's like doing woodwork. Yeah. You have to constantly be doing it to get better and to understand it a bit better. And I think even when I'm very old and still doing it, I still will try and discover what is new, what is different, and how can you build on certain things. So that's always nice, It's never the same. It's always different because somebody else is sitting in front of you that's got enough different energy. Yeah.
So My Father's War is coming out in cinemas. Why should somebody go watch it?
Because
me as a young person that doesn't really know about the border war, will I learn something from the movie?
I think, basically, My Father's War is actually a family drama.
Okay.
So, and also, I've said this so many times before, everybody is involved, knows somebody that was part of that war, because it's still so fresh in our memories, and and it's not just white people, black people, of all races in South Africa, they have been part of this, they've been affected.
In one way or another, good or bad.
Well, emotionally, psychologically, and So people will you will have you can actually take something back, and it's a family drama. You know, people always relate to that, which is good.
So what's next for you after this? What are you working on other stuff? Are you?
I don't know. Do you have something for me?
I don't know. We can speak, eh? You can take my show if you want, eh?
No, I won't be able to. No, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you take it one day at a time.
Yeah, well, you wait for that call, huh?
That's hectic.
Yeah, it's like it's part of it.
Stian Baum, thank you, man. Listen, what advice would you give to somebody wanting to get into the industry? I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's not, the fame is, how do you deal with the fame, by the way? When people come up to you and like, hey, ik wil een foto here, you have off days, right? I mean, sometimes you're like, yeah, kom nou. Eh?
That's part of it.
Okay.
No, well,
Yeah.
if somebody wants a photo, you take a photo.
Yeah.
You say, okay, cool, thank you, and you go on.
Yeah.
You know, you don't make something of it.
Yeah.
No, but I think people are generally very nice. That the people know how to handle stuff like that, and people, you know, I don't mind. It's part of it. Fame is a strange thing. I'm just me, and I work,
doing what you
and
like.
and I don't think of it in any other way. So I think people that want to do this for a living, you know, they have to know that it is hard work, a long time before you really get to a place where you can feel happy. Yeah, it's hard work.
It is hard work, yeah. Stian Baum, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, man.
Go check out My Father's War on at cinemas right now. Of course, find out more details. Just go and Google My Father's War. You'll find out where it is, where, what time, everything like that. Also, social media, very powerful. Go and find My Father's War on Facebook and Twitter. And that is how we wrap the show today with the legend, Mr. Stian Baum. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Another episode of Talking Point. Make sure you are getting involved with the show at Stephen Taylor SA on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, facebook.com/Talking Point. I'll catch you back next time, same place. Take it easy. Bye-bye.